Ask you this: from a wide receiver standpoint, when you have so much talent out there, how do you manage the substitutions? Is it by the routes they're running, or do they have set series that they're going to play? How do you manage substitutions with a deep wide receiver room?
Yeah, I try to explain this story to kids every year, and I think our guys really understand what I'm saying. And it's always hard for them during the season to understand. But really, how the receiver room works is one, it's a selfless position, right? Because at receiver, people call receivers divas, but it's the most high stress position from the standpoint of you're going to run the most and get the ball the least, right?
Oh,
You run
Hmm.
more than anybody else, and you're going to get the ball. The
You
running
got to
back's going
sell
to get
it.
the ball 15 to 20 times. The quarterback gets to touch the ball every play. The lineman get to block somebody every play. Like they have something they can do on every play. As a receiver, sometimes you're just out there running, just
running.
for the love of the game. That's what we call. Hey, clear it out for the love of the game, Doc. Just run down there for us. Appreciate
That's
you.
what I call Chico on this show for the love of the show, baby. You don't have no responsibility. Just look good. Go.
I wish.
Right. So, like that receiver position is always a delicate position from the standpoint of managing that, right? Managing.
Memphis 10 in this joint, man. All the way here.
Memphis 10,
Memphis 10 in this
Dirty
joint,
Dime.
man. You already know what's up. Yeah, Uncle Neely in the house.
Let's go pregame show from New Orleans, all the way from New Orleans. Yay!
Of managing that, right? Managing the expectation of I want the ball, right? And
Hmm.
so for us, like I tell the guys my little league story. I had a coach, right? My mom didn't want me to play in Pittsburgh with because there was a lot going on in the early '90s, right? Of crime and all that type of stuff in Pittsburgh. So I played out in on a suburb team, and coach he would tell me like, they don't like us having so many of y'all on the team. Long story
Yeah.
short, right? So
You ain't from here.
yeah, right. So I'm gonna give you the ball 4 or 5 times. You better do something with it. Like you got
Damn.
to make big plays, right? And
Yeah. Make
so
it count.
it's about not counting how many times I got the ball, but making it count when I do get the ball,
There you go.
Yeah. Love it.
right? And
Coach
so
Ramon.
like our receivers got to understand, like, bro, three touches might be 2 touchdowns, right?
Right.
Or 5 touches might be. I need at least a touchdown. I need a big play. I need a first like. When you get this ball, you're gonna have to maximize your opportunity when you get this ball. Like it's not gonna be just one guy's getting the ball 15, 20 times, right? And
Mhm.
Yeah.
if somebody gets hot, like if we have like when we had Jordan Addison at Pitt and he got hot and it was like, all right, we got to throw him the ball 20 times a game because he's out of every 3 times we throw him the ball, one's gonna be a like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
If somebody gets hot like that and they're on a Blitnikoff type run, then we're gonna get him the ball like that. Like when I had Ricky White, right? We had 3 receivers out there. Ricky had 90 catches, the other receiver had 60 catches. Jacob DeJesus had like 60 catches, the other receiver had 50 catches,
Mm.
right? So, and that's what our receivers just have to understand. Like whoever's the hot hand that game, that's who we're gonna try to get the ball to and feed. But at the same time, you have to do what you have to do with your opportunity because we're running a real offense, not a I hate to say this to people because some people take it as disrespect, but like the team who throws the ball every time, you never see them in the championship game, right? The team who throws the
Mhm.
ball every play, you never see them in the big game. They might win a lot of games, they might accumulate a lot of stats,
A lot of
right?
stats.
But they're not going to go win those tough games when they're playing a team that's used to cold weather. They're pounding the rock. They're playing great defense. Like
Yep.
That's just not gonna. When it gets cold outside, you're not throwing the ball every play. When it's, you know what I'm saying, like that's just the way football works, right? If you
Yeah.
play long, you play into the winter months, and it's a little bit harder to throw the ball when the wind is 30 miles per hour. You know what I mean? Like that's just the
You have
way.
to run the ball.
Right.
Got to get physical.
Coach, you got a couple of super chats done hit our way. All super chats will be read. If in case you've been under the rock, we got the OC Colorado football coach Brennan Marion on the show live with us.
And in case you went to public schools,
is from 2 Prime CJ 99 super chat. He said check out his profile pic. But what's something you wish every player understood that you didn't fully appreciate until you became a coach?
Yeah, the biggest thing I do, if you notice, follow me on social media, I let the players have fun. When I was, the stress of growing up in Section 8 and everybody looking at you like you got to make it, I got so serious to the point where I really couldn't enjoy my teammates and the moment of being like the things that I did in college haven't been done since I left college. So it was a big deal. But at the time, I really didn't think anything of it because I was like, I'm going to the league. Like, so it wasn't a big deal that I was on billboards and the ESPN. Like, I'm like, bro, I'm going to the league. I'm not worried about this stuff. And I see guys now, they retweet all their stuff and they post all their stuff. And I'm thinking like, man, I didn't enjoy none of that. I don't even have a picture of, I don't know where the All-American ring that I got from junior college, like, I don't know where none of that stuff, like, I didn't relish that moment. I was so like, I'm going to the league. I'm going to the league. I got to make it. And then I get hurt and my league career is not what it was supposed to be. And I didn't enjoy the moment of when I was doing it big, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm looking back and going like, man, you set all these records and, and it wasn't even like at the time, it wasn't a thing to me. Right. So I try to let guys enjoy the process as well, not just work them into the ground and not let them have any fun. But I'm old school, right? I'm an 80s baby. We're going to work, but we're going to have fun with it too.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. One more super chat. Got another one later for the show. This is for Renee. Rainey, appreciate you, Renee, always checking in with us. $9.99 super chat. She says, Coach, one of the things that makes the go-go offense unique is its flexibility. Have you ever envisioned a version of it that effectively utilizes 2 quarterbacks?
I think there's a space for putting 2 quarterbacks on the field at once. If you look at some of the old Ivy League stuff that we studied back in the day of 2 quarterbacks being on the field, I've seen a couple teams use it recently in the near and that way. But as far as like 2 quarterbacks, I just don't like the rhythm of that, at that position. It's successfully been done. Tom Landry did it, with the Cowboys back in the day. Teams have done it, but for me as a coach, I wouldn't like that feeling. If I'm a quarterback, you give me the ball, you say it's my game, and then I miss one throw. It's like being a pitcher and you don't throw a strike, so they take you out the first time you don't throw a strike, or you know what I'm saying? Like the feel of that, to me, I don't understand the feel of that. I think a guy can come in and spell a guy for a play, maybe 2 or 3 plays, but to go back and forth the whole game, I just don't. For me personally, as a coach, I don't like that.
Yes, sir. Eric Morris, $2 super chat. He says, Coach Marion, how did you come up with the go-go offense?
Yeah, so shout out to my ex-wife for getting me Apple TV. I got Apple TV back in the day when it was like when it first became a thing. And I just got on there. We lost the playoff game because I was a 10 personnel, spread it out, air raid, throw it every play. And we got to that 4th quarter and that other team just held that ball and ran that ball. There was nothing we could do about it. And I was like, man, I got to start learning these run plays, man. I got to learn this. I got to really dive into this, because I was with Coach Malzahn and we had 3,000-yard receivers, 1,000-yard rusher, and then another guy who had like 800 yards rushing and a 5,000-yard passer. We were the first offense in the history of college football to do that when I played in college. And so a lot of that was we had really good players, good scheme, and it was tempo. You could go, like, the game was different back then. You could run 95 plays a game or, like you could really max out the tempo. And so when we lost, I started just looking at the study of football, like what are the offenses. I studied every single offense in football. At first, I was really just copying the West Coast passing game that I learned in junior college in the NFL and Gus's run plays. Like I was really just copy paste. Like I was like, oh, I like this play, I like that play. Let's do this, right? And then I got some players that weren't, up to snuff as far as like we were going to be at a talent deficient. We were talent deficient of where we were at. I took over the last ranked team in the state in 2 different states. And so I was just like, all right, I got to figure out something that's different and unique because if you can't beat people at their own game, then you got to find a way to do it differently. So that's when I came up with I said, I saw somebody line up the way that we do with two backs on the same side, but they just ran like a quarterback. It was like quarterback right. Like they didn't even like really do anything out of it. And I'm thinking like, man, the West Coast offense started out of two back. The triple option started out of two back. The air raid started out of two back. What if we started doing this? And then I started asking all the defensive coaches, you struggle with, what do you consider two backs on one side? And every
Mm.
single defensive coordinator gave me a different answer. I said, oh, they don't got this figured out. If everybody gives me a different answer, that means there's not a rule to this, right? If there was a rule to it, right, everybody would know. It's like, there's a million versions of quarters coverage based off 3-by-1, right? Based off of the spread. So now when teams run spread, defense coordinators got that figured out quick. Like they know
Mhm.
exactly what to do to 2 receivers, 3 receivers. Now you have to have better players and you got to have a superhero at quarterback. Now you got to have a superhero at quarterback because he has to understand all the different coverages that they can play and all the different adjustments that they have to it. But now for our offense, I can dictate the game because they don't really know what we're doing, right? And so when they don't know what you're doing, they're just going to have an easy check to each thing that you do. They're going to have a certain check that says, okay, this is our auto check for the game based on the way that they're played. If a
Yeah.
team lines up the same way every time, you know exactly how to attack them, right? If your target's in the same spot, I can move over here and hit them. I can be over here and hit them. Right? And so that's what our offense did for me. It helped me get an advantage catching the edge, right? Every great person is looking for an edge in something, right? Insider trade, we're trying to find a way to get it.
Sure.
And so that was how I found the edge to go and give our team a chance, even though we were less talented than
Harris
others.
C. Harris, managing partner of the Cochran firm Jackson, is one of the premier litigators in the United States. Dedicated to furthering the values of Johnny Cochran, Harris believes attorneys have a duty to restore voice to the silenced and give justice to the wrong.
The reason that you are a member of the Cochran firm is that you share my commitment to excellence to our clients.
Harris's success is credited to a set of core values shared by his team of attorneys, professionals, and staff.
You've proven to me that you care and you want to do the best job for all of our clients.
I'm here to make sure that they have a voice.
Named one of the top 10 trucking lawyers with a $150 million settlement, Terrence Harris continues to prove that he is committed to obtaining the best possible outcome for his clients.